The trip ends. So moving on, we have Erin's. We're back in the city. Erin talks about her business, her upbringing, and she works with Frederick Uckland of Million Dollar Listing and the New York and the LA version. Which, by the way, I thought, can somebody clarify this with me? I thought at some point there was going to be an Austin, Texas, an Austin version, but did that get canceled because he left the show? Did he leave the show? Did he get let go of the show? I need more clarity on Frederick, who I thought was fantastic. And I also want to know what you all think of real Million Dollar Listing LA versus Million Dollar Listing New York. The heavy hitter on New York was, of course, Ryan Serhant and Frederick. And New York is just a really cool place in terms of the setting. But I gotta say, Tracy Tudor and Josh Flagg on the LA seasons, also amazing. And Josh Altman as well. Like, the show is actually really good. And it kind of makes me a little sad that a lot of people are putting more of an excitement in the Selling Sunset show, which I can't get into that. There's no interest. I'm like, I want to know more about the homes, And the cast is not that great. And I watched maybe one or two of the Selling Tampa, hoping it was going to go somewhere. It sadly did not. But here's what I'll tell you. Selling the OC, oh, that's a cast right there. And maybe it's a little bit more like the Hills, in the vein of the Orange County. But Selling the OC, I like. But really my favorite in terms of these kind of shows is Million Dollar Listing New York, then LA, and then the Selling the OC. But I like that we got a peek behind Erin's life, and I always say this. It's so easy to judge people who have sort of a lot, and she did talk about a lot of things she had within, her father and the career he is in, and her mom was instrumental in, this and that with Lincoln Center. Like, I just don't, as a blanket, I don't make that that blanket thought process of, because you have a lot of things, you're necessarily a bad person. I don't. Which, on the contrary, I don't necessarily think you're amazing because you do have an opulent life. A lot of people, when they talk about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, which I think is one of the worst cast of all the franchises, and let me not be mean, the only reason I don't think it's great is because they put so much, the fan base even, on the wealth. And it's like, the wealth is great if you are amazing. Does that make sense? It's saying, I'm not going to say Erin is whatever, mean or pretentious, etc. I think she's a cool chick. She just happens to be very put together in her upbringing and had a lot of access. But that doesn't mean she's a bad person. But when you all watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Kyle could not be the most boring person to ever do. Well, there's a couple others, but she's up there. Scene 1, episode 1, frame 1, Kyle was lackluster. And so for her to get all these seasons, it's incredible. That's number one. Magic and miracles do happen. But beyond that, she, I think the pass that is given is people love the opulence. And you always hear people talk about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, where they're like, oh, it's the crown jewel. And, everyone's entitled to their opinion. But the thought process there is, oh, because I love seeing wealth. It's aspirational. It is, but I'm not giving you a pass. You still got to be interesting. You know what I mean? Me personally. So do you get the duality in that? Just because Erin comes from a lot, I don't think I'm necessarily saying anything bad about her. Same thing with Josh Flagg, although he is a little bit of a shit stirrer, right? Josh Flagg is generally fantastic television. I don't like the scene that he had with his, at the time, fiance, Bobby, or husband, when he wanted to get the home in Palm Springs, but it was a home that he wanted to get for his late parents. And Josh Flagg jumped right in. And even though this might be true, he jumped right in and said, oh, well, this won't have resale value. And without it having a third bedroom, this, and this. And there was all these things. And Bobby was like, I get all that, but this is something I just want and need for me. And of course, they have, broke up shortly after that. But that was the one time that I was like, Josh Flagg was being sort of blatantly mean, even in the vein of like, yes, the business, what he was saying was correct, but there are times you've got to open your heart a little bit more, and you can't be that rough and rugged, I guess, in terms of how you communicate. It's not always about the sale, unless it is. It's not always about business, unless it is. So anyways, the moral of the story, it's like I've never been intimidated, me personally. I've never grown up with a great deal of money or whatever, very blue collar, the family did okay. Um, you know, but I don't look at I'm not intimidated by any means on somebody who lives an opulent lifestyle. I think I'd get along with Erin as we did on the Watch What Happens live episode. Should I play the clip for you? Let me play the clip for you again so you can see. Actually, you know what? You could go to the channel and you could see it. But I don't have that qualm. I don't have that like, oh, I can't connect just because you have all these things. At least I think I don't. Anyways, that is just too much. I just loved seeing the upbringing, the tenacity. Sure, she has a lot. She comes from a lot, but she's also, about her business too, which is what Tracy Tudor, I think her father is, I don't know what his president of something in the transportation or the within the freeways or whatever, something big. But Tracy Tudor has taken all that very luxurious lifestyle, opportunities, I'm sure, and you will never be able to fix your mouth and say she's not amazing on the $1 Million Listing LA. Anyways, this is a tangent. This is why it's always good that I do the episode with Russell Ray Silva, because he could always bring me back. He's like, dude, no, he doesn't say this, but we got to get back to the show. Anyway, oh, look at how funny. In my notes, the very next thing was,
Hey, Ronnie Jr.